All right, so I don't know if you're anything like me, but I work 50, 60, 70 hours a week sometimes, and the money that I generate, create, and estate that I'm building, I want to make sure that I pass on to my children the right mindset and strategies on how to put their money to work for them later on in life. So with that, today we're going to talk about 3 ways to pass down generational wealth. Stick for the end. There's going to be a bonus that's going to make your head spin, and I assure you, you will walk away from this video with more knowledge than you did when you first listened to it. What is generational wealth? According to Chime, the accumulation of assets such as cash, property, investments, and other financial resources that are passed down from one generation to the next. So those who inherit wealth from past generations often, not all the time, often have more financial access and opportunity, leading to further wealth accumulation, while those who don't have access to the same resources and opportunities are falling behind. And yes, it's true. Folks that have this kind of access are starting off in the game of life on second and third base sometimes. But let me ask you a question. How different would your life be right now if your great-grandfather left you $1 million check, or that same great-grandfather left you inside of a family trust, something along the lines of $50,000 a year for life? Those are two different scenarios, and we'll talk about them later. The point is, if that resource is available, you have a different leg up in life. Now, I want to warn everybody, I know two separate people. One person got a $300,000 death benefit check that was not inside of a trust. We'll talk about that later. And that same person bought a $75,000 Mercedes, right? Think about that at the age of 21. Another person's family got a $10 million death benefit inside of a family trust, and each and every kid and grandkid were getting disbursements based on a model and the language inside that trust, because the person who had passed away, may he rest in peace, had what they call post-mortem control, where he wanted to put this inside a trust to protect the estate from taxes and also take care of his kids, but also his grandkids, and make sure that they weren't ruined by the money by getting it too soon. So as we work through this, stick to the end a little bit, because we're going to have a bonus that kind of digs into a little bit deeper of a mindset that matters when it comes to your money time freedom. Just want to think about what generational wealth is, some of the risks, and also some of the rewards. So remember, 3 ways to pass down generational wealth. Let's get into number 1 right now, family foundation. Investopedia says a family charitable foundation can provide unique benefits to both the charities it supports and family members who direct the foundation's activities. But private family foundations are subject to complex tax regulations, which, if violated, can result in a steep tax penalty and even revocation of the foundation's tax-exempt status. So now let's talk about 4 famous families and how they're impacting the world, not just generationally. What they're trying to do is do it on a 100-year, 200-year basis. We'll go into Bill and Melinda Gates. Say what you want. They're heavy into vaccines. Now, they've been doing it for a long time. There's always going to be people on both sides of the aisle that are going to give you the opinion, but at the end of the day, that's one of their staples on how they're looking to make the world a better place. Then we have the Clinton Foundation. What do? Typically, or basically, they just bring together leaders, let's call them ecosystems, leaders of ecosystems, and bring those together to make the world an even stronger place. The Carnegie, he's the second GOAT. The first GOAT's going to be the Rockefellers. But Carnegie is all about advancement and education, which is why I love exactly what they do. We're going to go deeper into the Rockefellers, but just remember, of these 4, they are the Michael Jordan. Okay, folks, here's the tail of the tape. However, there is no rivalry here because the Rockefellers dominate the Vanderbilts in what I'm about to talk about. According to Forbes, the Rockefeller family's net worth is currently valued at $8.4 with a B billion dollars spread amongst 70 heirs. That's incredible. The fortune amassed was so large that the family founded Rockefeller Family Services, which enlists professional money managers to oversee the holding company. This entity has 5 separate arms, each of them overseeing various wealth-building activities such as investments, venture capital, family businesses, family liability insurance, and risk management. Think of this as the first family office. The Rockefeller method of estate planning has succeeded for over 6 generations. To me, that's about 180 years, through a careful family constitution of irrevocable trusts. In addition, the family ensured that the trust remained well-funded by using the proceeds of life insurance policies for each passing family member. Basically, what they've done is created all these life insurance policies that are inside of trusts, so when people passed away, there was no tax liability. And then they have rules within the family on how you can leverage that money for your own time freedom. What they've done is incredible. To model them is the best thing you could do. One of the things I can't wait to talk to about whenever we sit down with one of you good folks is exactly what that map looks like and how to put you on the Rockefeller path. As we continue with the Rockefellers and the Vanderbilts, many cultures around the world have stories about how a family can go from rags to riches, bitches, and then from riches back to rags. Within 3 generations, that's 90 years, according to the NASDAQ, 70% of families lose their wealth in the 2nd generation, facts, and 90% lose it by the 3rd generation, the facts continue. The Vanderbilts have been heralded as American royalty and as the icons of the Gilded Age, but over time their estate dwindled from $200 million to $1.5 million. Today, none of the Vanderbilts' founded companies remain within the family. I want you to think about that. And I want you to think about the Rockefellers. And somewhere there was a DNA, somewhere there was a family office, somewhere there was understanding of passing money down estate tax-free and understanding the importance of money, not just in a lump sum, but through a process and a strategy. And I think that's where the Rockefellers hit the cover off the ball. Because if you look at the Vanderbilts, they represent what a lot of people do when there's money that's amassed and it's handed down to the next generation without a rule book. From the top, we talked about 3 ways to pass down generational wealth. Let's get into number 2. I love this one. Not that I didn't love the first one, but I love this one because there's some good examples we're going to talk about. Number 2 is a charitable giving or CRT or charitable remainder trust is a tax exempt irrevocable trust designed to reduce the taxable income of individuals by first, number 1, dispersing income to the beneficiaries of the trust for a specified period of time, and then number 2, donating the remainder of that trust to a designed or designated charity. So let me get into this. If I own a building, right, and my building is worth $2 million, and I want to donate it to a charity that I believe in, I may get income for 10, 15 years, and at some point, the remainder of that building would be donated to the charity, right? So now, because of this charitable remainder trust, it is outside my estate, which gives me a tax benefit. So the question is, well, Rob, why would I do that? Well, let me just add something else to that. What if you had a $2 million 401k that was the same value of your real estate? You put that real estate inside the CRT. Now, you're getting income for a period certain, right? But because of the tax benefit, you're able to take money out of your 401k, and that's going to reduce your taxable estate or your taxable income on that 401k. So then the question becomes, well, Rob, I'm spending all this stuff down in life. What about my heirs? Here it is, wealth replacement trust. Because not only do you get money from the charity, the period certain income, but you also are now spending down your 401k. You then set up a wealth replacement trust, which is funded with life insurance, to the same amount of the value of both. And then when you eventually pass on, all that tax-free death benefit comes from the wealth replacement trust, thus allowing you to spend these assets down in life where it could be replaced by the life insurance death benefit tax-free. So, folks, let's get into number 3, which is gifting. Gifts made to spouses who are U.S. citizens to political organizations for use by the organization and for medical and tuition-related expenses on behalf of the recipient are excluded from the gift tax. As of 2023, the annual gift exclusion was $17,000 per recipient, $34,000 per married couple. Just a quick side note, gifting allows you $17,000 per person. You could do an unlimited amount of people. And this is a good way to get money out of your estate without having to affect your gift tax. So, folks, we have a special bonus for you, which is a life insurance trust. According to Investopedia, a life insurance trust is an irrevocable trust set up with a life insurance policy itself as the asset, allowing the grantor of the policy to exempt assets away from his or her taxable estate. Quick example, if I want to have a policy that's on my life and I give it to the trust as the owner, I get to put language in the trust that dictates where the money goes, how the money goes, and who the money goes to. That's what a life insurance trust is. If you work your butt off to get to retirement or amass wealth, you want to make sure your heirs have the ability to survive success, meaning they don't want to get a windfall money. They may want it, but you don't want them to have a windfall money. You may want to create staggering distributions along the way. So with that being said, we want to be able to show you how to set up a life insurance trust. We are not estate attorneys, to be very clear. We work with a lot of them. So go ahead and click that link below. Sit down with one of the members here at Epic. They will take you through the initial conversation, and if, in fact, you want to get the trust set up, they will refer you to one of the many different estate attorneys that we work with. Continue to follow, subscribe, and like, and don't forget when that bell goes off to listen to the next video.